Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. So, the devs pulled a funny one again because they sometimes just refuse to stick to the set schedule that had been happening for 2.5 years. And the skill preview for the new RIMURU didn't come out at 4 a.m. today. It came out at 8 a.m. today, which, no one was expecting. So I dropped the hero video, assuming that there wasn't going to be a skill preview, and now there is. So I guess today's going to be a 4 video thing today, because, we got the hero video, this video, the stream, and then the should you summon. So today is all jam-packed. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this Rimuru is going to bring to the team, and it's not what I expected. First off, so new EX character, another goddamn light unit, which we'll talk about in a minute. Rimuru Tempest, the mythical Stormbringer. First skill is unknown. His second skill changes 3 alts into rainbow orbs for this turn only, and then gives a gauge increase of 10% across the board. And it can only be used once, as most rainbow skills are. So New Year's Blessing Rimuru converts his own orbs to rainbow. Visions of Coleus Rimuru converts all blues to rainbow. And now we have a unit that is converting 3 alts to rainbow. One time only. And then he's an AoE light magic, and then increases magic attack by 5%. So he does have a little bit of a support buff on his alt, which I guess is cool. And then obviously he can EX. He's on Exalted Champions, Shizu's Will, and Octogram. So another wonky Rimuru that sometimes is and sometimes isn't on Octogram. At first glance, you're like, oh, rainbow orbs are sweet, and he converts 3 orbs for 15 points, and yeah, that's really good on a lot of other teams, because, sometimes you can't fit New Year's Blessing Rimuru on for his rainbow orbs. You want something else. Visions of Coleus Rimuru, like, if you're not running a blue team, then his rainbow orbs are not as useful, because you need blues to do that, and you're not going to bring a blue orb changer generally if you're not running a blue team. So him being able to swap 3 alts for rainbows is, I think, brings a lot of utility to him. But you can only use it once a fight, which means that you're probably better off bringing another different dedicated alt swapping unit, because we already have 2 units that can do that, for dedicated teams. We've got Shizu, who converts 3 alts to green, and we've got Blanc, who converts 3 blues, or 3 alts to blue. So we've got those covered. And these skills are not limited by a 1-turn usage. You can use it over and over again, which on their teams you probably are going to use it over and over again, because these are meant for stacking teams, right? You're going to have alts for a number of turns. With this new Rimuru, it makes sense because this Exalted Champions meta is a burst-focused, 5 turns or less. So, probably you're not going to have another turn where you need to use this, especially with Millam's free alt skill. That kind of makes it even more interesting. So, like, you could use the EX alt and use her skill, use this to, send the alt. The next turn, when you've got it again, you could use a skill, swap it into a rainbow, get a whole bunch of points back, and then on like the next turn, you would have 3 EX alts because of these rainbows. I maybe that's what they were thinking. We'll have to see in game, but I don't know. Like, they have to be alts. It's into rainbows, right? The other rainbows have always been normal orbs. So here, it's not only limited by you can only use a skill once and then it's a dead skill, but also it's only alts that get swapped. So if you don't have alts, the skill does nothing. And on a burst team, like, you're probably going to have alts, but is it better to send them or is it better to save them? It's up for debate, right? So I'm not super duper high on this skill, even though I really like the concept of rainbow orbs. This maybe isn't quite as good as I was hoping for. The fact that they are going into rainbow orbs, though, is nice. So if you don't currently have an alt swapper at all, like you don't have Blanc, no one who plays after the Overlord collab who didn't get her is going to have access to Shizu. So I mean, it's nice to have an alt swapper of some kind, apart from free to play Tempest Elite Gobta or Summer Shizu, I guess. There are not a lot of alt swapping units. The hero only does one. Idol Shuna does 2 greens, 2 alts to green. So I mean, there are other options, but all those skills can be used multiple times. This is only once. His first skill, I assume it's going to be some kind of team buff, probably a magic buff or an EX alt buff or something. If he's already raising magic attack on his alt, I'm thinking it's not going to be magic attack buff here. But depending on how good this first skill is, then it would actually bring his value up a lot more as far as putting him on other magic focused teams or just a team in general. Because then you could at least make use of the alt swap once, and you just have to plan it carefully. And then his second skill would be actually useful for a good portion of the game, unless they make it stupid limited to like Exalted Champions and Shizu's Will or something like that. Then we might have a few problems, and I might really not like this Rimuru. But we'll have to wait and see. But my other big issue with this Rimuru is he's light, which it's now a heavily focused meme that there are way too many goddamn light units in this game and not enough earth units in this game. Like, it's an actual joke. We have as many light as we have space now, which I guess is cool. Now we've evened out a bit, but like this gap right here makes no sense. And adding another light unit here, let's just go ahead and add him right now. EC Rimuru. I'm not entirely sure. I was hoping he would be Wind, right? I was hoping he would be Wind as a secondary DPS character. And you know what? They might still do that. They still might make him a DPS or a quote-unquote AoE DPS character, just like how Tempest Elite Shuna was the AoE character for Tempest Elite, even though she's not fire, which is what the team wanted. And then single target Rimuru came out, wherever his bitch ass is, or up here, and he was type advantage and the nuker, while Shuna was an AoE nuker but not type advantage. I have a strange bad feeling that they're going to do the same with this Rimuru, where Milim, being Wind, is the type advantage single target nuker. Where's Milim? Oh, she's up here. She's 112. Single target Wind nuker, but then we have an off advantage or off typing AoE unit, which is not great, right? She's not going to do as much damage as a type advantage unit is, and for an AoE stage or an AoE nuker, that's what you want. And also, being light, that means that Guy's alt buff will not hit her, right? Space and wind gauges by 100%. This is not space or wind. So now we have a third problem, to where if Rimuru is going to be the AoE nuker, he's not going to get any alt gauge from Guy, which is kind of, what you want when you're trying to buff a nuking character, right? So I'm not following the thought process behind this character, and it really heavily depends on what this first skill is going to be, because if it's actually bad or it's ultra limited, I'm going to tell people to skip him. Straight up. I might tell people to skip him right now, based on what I've seen. I've yet to use him, so I can't give you a definitive yes or no answer yet. We'll find out in 9 hours-ish or so. But, man, like, right now, I'm not a fan. If you have not yet pulled Velzard from the first banner, and this Rimuru comes out, and you're like, Joker, should I summon for this Rimuru? I'm going to tell you to go back onto this banner and pull goddamn Velzard. Because this goddamn Velzard is going to be a lot more useful than this Rimuru ever will be. Especially if he gets even more limited. So, It is nice that he is light magic, because we don't have a light magic AoE nuker, surprisingly, right? Blanc is single target, Shun is single target. The hero is physical AoE, and so is EX Yom, who is a free-to-play, right? He's physical AoE. Vengeance Veldora is single target, and that's it. We have a lot of light characters, but they're all fucking free-to-play units, right? Nabe, Tsubasa, Yom, Ramaris, Darkness. Like, that's why the light has so many characters, because they're all free-to-play units. We don't yet have an AoE light magic character, so I guess one good point for Rimuru is that he does now fill that gap that we have. But, yeah, I don't really know what to think right now. Again, we have to use him, and we have to see what this first skill is going to be. This first skill could be really good. It might save him. But right now, his fit onto this team as it is not super ideal. So we'll find out. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I will see you all later.